Okay. Over there with the Mercedes, that view, it has some blue.
So I'm pretending to be a jaguar, because jaguars here in the tropics are, like this guy from, from foot to shoulder. They're not that big as the one in South America, so that height is, optimal. Take a picture from the lens. Okay. So take a picture, there's my, that because cameras have, they serve you only one portion or where they can take a picture, so they won't take a picture over there. This is like a blind spot, and there's a blind spot, so you have, like I think a 4 meter range from the lens to take pictures of whatever crosses in. Right? So the angle is pretty important. The height is pretty important, depending on your research objectives. You will set the camera the height that is required, depending on your goals. I mean, there's no one, right way or one, particular way that is, the one and the other ones aren't correct. This camera track project is to get my degree in biology. In order to get your degree in biology, after you finish all your courses, here in Panama, there's an option where you can make a thesis, final project or thesis work. And I'm aiming to that because I want to make a good project that's very attractive and also can help for wildlife conservation in Panama. I decided to study biology because I love nature and I love wildlife. And it's a very special way to have a good connection with nature in order to study it. And you know, for me also studying biology represents a challenge to do research and to make my country a better place. Help to save endangered species in Panama and also in the region of Central America. Before the data collection of this new camera trap campaign, we've been able to gather information about species richness and diversity of the terrestrial mammal community that is living in our study area in Mamoni. And also we've been able to do an approach on how pumas, jaguars, and ocelot coexist using their activity patterns. Some of the challenges on setting camera traps in Panama is how difficult it is to walk through the Panamanian rainforest because there are a lot of steep mountains, a lot of steep ridge lines, and there's a lot of humidity, and most of these places are so far from civilization that you have to take 4x4 trucks, or sometimes there's not even a dirt road where you can use these trucks. You have to or horseback ride or to hike to the study area in order to do field work. So another of the challenges are that it's pretty hard to get funding, research funding, to do field research in Panama. This is Panama, man. This is Panama. And being in the same mountain ridges, the same jungles where jaguars walk, pumas walk, tapir's walk. I might be resting below a big tree that might be a harpy eagle's nest to see endangered frog species with snakes and more species. I enjoy a lot to be in the rainforest, in the middle of a jungle where even though we're following a scientific methodology, research methodology, and we're doing field work, for me it's kind of a therapy where I forget all my problems and what's happening in the rest of the world. It's just me and nature. And also, you know, feel vulnerable at the same time, which for me it feels good to be in a big place where we humans are vulnerable.
Over there with the thing, the back too, it has some roof.
Jaguars, and I'm hoping for tapirs because tapirs are the guardians of the rainforest in the tropics here in Central America. The Bar's tapir, Central American tapir, is endangered, vulnerable worldwide, and endangered here in Panama. Widely peccary also. Widely peccary is, believe it or not, is one. Maybe in the Amazon, in Peru, or in the Pantanal. They have declining populations, but they have better population status that over here in Mesoamerica, all the way from Mexico to Panama. They are one of the more endangered than the jaguar. They are more sensitive to human disturbances, even more than jaguars. So having widely peccaries around means that they're using this area for a reason, because there's enough space, enough habitat for them to move, and it's good because there are predators around and because they are architects of the rainforest. So in general, big herbivores and carnivores are endangered, because they are more sensitive to the landscape changing, and because some of them, they hunt them for the big cats because of the conflict that is happening between humans and big cats, when the cats eat their livestock, and because big herbivores like widely peccaries, collar peccaries, deers, they are the main source of food for most of the people that live in these kind of areas. The local people, they usually hunt for them, and they are the ones that are more persecuted. During 7 years of camera trapping in the Mamoni Valley, we have photographed 28 mammal species. Some of the species are endangered and critically endangered in Panama. Also, after 7 years, after so many efforts, we have photographed one of the most rare and endangered mammal species in Panama and in Central America, the giant anteater. Giant anteaters ranges from South America to Central America, but now in Central America, they only exist in Panama. It gives us hope to have photographed these species because for us it means that our study area might have enough forest and food for them, also for jaguars, pumas, peccaries, and tapirs. So, it is a challenge for us because we have to work with the people. People are coexisting with wildlife, not only here, but in many parts of the world. Going forward means for us to establish a big and systematic wildlife monitoring in the area. Have, 50, 60, or even 100 camera traps every year running in the area to really see what is happening with the mammal community that exists in this area, and to see what are the trends, why some species are more abundant than the others. We want to see this because we want to conserve this area. And also, in the future, I would like to establish some organizations of community base that can do the field work, that people that lives here can do also the field work, because These are the main actors to preserve this area, the people that lives in these lands. And we want to work with them in order to study and do wildlife conservation.